Hi, Menny,
Hi.
and thank you, first of all, for being here with us.
I'm very happy to be here.
Your speech was very, very interesting. So, first of all, I would like to ask you, what do you do in your life, and how did you arrive to do that? Why did you decide to do this?
Okay, so mostly I deal with cybersecurity, and I do that in 3 capacities. Number 1, I'm a speaker, as you've seen today. I travel the world and give a lot of talks. I also have my consultancy company, Cytactic, and we work with big companies and governments around the world on various cybersecurity issues. And I'm also the CTO of the Cyber Research Center at the Tel Aviv University. It's an academic center, and we're doing the International Cyber Week in Israel, where we have people from over 80 countries arriving in Israel every year to participate in this event. The way I went into the world of cybersecurity is a very interesting journey. As a kid, I was a nerd. I know, surprising. So I was this computer kid, and I loved using the computer all the time. I took it apart, I connected it together. The downside of being such a geek with computer was that whenever I went with my parents somewhere, their friends asked me to fix their computer. Whenever I go, people ask me, oh, if you're already here, please take a look at this, please take a look at that, how do I do this? I hated it. I hated the fact that computers had so many problems. At the age of 16, I went to my friend, my best friend from school, and I told him, you know what, let's make a business out of it. Let's open a company. And he told me, what do you need to open a company? It sounds like a big issue. I told him, all you need is like $25 to print business cards. This is it. And we did that. We found a name for the company, EMS, which is a stupid name, but we loved it as kids. And we printed business cards, $25. And it was amazing because it worked. Because from that moment on, whenever someone told me, you know what, I have a problem with my computer, I told them, no worries. I took up the business card and I gave them to that. And that's immediately dictated what kind of relationship we have. It is obvious that this person have to pay us for the services. And it actually grew, and we were very successful as kids. And at some point, we faced a problem where we couldn't fix. What we had to do is buy a new device and replace the current one. And we had to find someone to sell us this device. And from that moment on, we became a store because we started buying computers and buying devices and selling to people. And age 16 to age 18, we became large compared to what kids can do. And we made a lot of money, again, compared to what kids could do. At the age of 18, I had to close the company because I joined the army. In Israel, we have mandatory army service. Everybody has to join the army. So at the age of 18, I joined the army. I went to the intelligence services, where I started dealing with computer, and then moved to cybersecurity. We initiated the first cybersecurity team in the place that I was. 2 years later, I went to do officers training, went back to the army as an officer, spent additional 4 years. I'm a captain now. Left the army at the age of 25. Joined the largest banking group in Israel in various positions there. My last position was the head of the IT audit department. We were in charge of some kind of cybersecurity services for the bank and for its subsidiaries around the world. Left the bank after 10 years, started my own company. And since then, I'm doing all of those things that I'm telling you about.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have a very long story made of different things. So do you have a mentor on your work, in your job?
I think mentors are very, very important. And I have several mentors in my life. Some of them don't even know that they are my mentors. It starts with some of my friends, which are amazing. People around me, people like Matan, who's a good friend of mine, Nimrod, who's a good friend of mine, Ami, who's a good friend of mine. My parents are my mentors to some extent. But there are other famous mentors. For example, I like this guy called Timothy Ferris. He wrote several books. One of them is the 4 Hours Work Week. It's a very famous book. It has a podcast. And it's amazing that you don't have to physically know someone or spend time with them for them to become your mentors.
You talk about the risks of the internet and what can happen if the hackers or criminals of the internet take control of our lives through the technology. So it was a bit scary. Can you give us an advice to deal with the fears? With fears not only cybernetic, but in life too?
Yeah. So I'll start talking about the cyber fears and then I'll move to other type of fears. With the cyberspace, we actually have the opposite problems. People are not scared enough. And the reason is the way our mind works. Our brain is built to identify threats that we can grasp through our senses. Our mind is willing to create a sense of urgency. But right now, while we're sitting here, hackers all over the world are trying to attack various things. We have countries attacking one another. On the same internet that we use to watch dogs and cats on YouTube, countries attack one another. The cyber world is a very, very active world, but it doesn't feel real. Because this activity, it doesn't have pictures of crying kids, no bombed cities, no tanks rolling down the street. So people don't think about the cyber threats as a real threat. Those threats are real, and some fear should be, is in place with those kind of things. But with regards to fear in real life, I don't think you need to fight fear. I think you need to embrace fear. Fear is a very natural thing to have. And fear many times is a test to check whether you are worthy to the things that you want to achieve. Because some of the most interesting things in life are very, very scary. And because they are very, very scary, most people don't do them. You should use fear to make sure that A, you're not staying in your comfort zone, and use it to prove to yourself and to the world that you are worthy to the things that you're trying to accomplish.
If you had a superpower, what would you do to build a better world?
That's a very interesting question, because to me, I don't think you need a superpower to make the world better. Obviously, you're doing that, and you don't have a superpower. Or to put it in another way, everybody has a superpower. The only reason I would say that I really need a superpower is that people will notice me, and then they will listen to me. Like if I had the ability to fly, right, and then if I will talk, more people listen because, oh my God, this person has the ability to fly. But I don't need like the ability to control people's mind, which is obviously could be very helpful to go to those crazy people around the world that are trying to do bad things, control their mind and tell them to stop doing bad things. This is not the way to make the world better. I think technology is one of the ways to make the world better. But I'm a great believer in people. I think people have the ability to, everyone has the ability to change the world. They just need to remember to do that. Because most people tend to fall into this day-to-day life and they forget how much they can do. Some of them forget to be happy, which is amazing. You see people live their life and they just forget to be happy. They forget to enjoy what's happening. So they're so regular to do whatever they do. They forget how much they can achieve in life, and they forget that they're actually in a position where they can do such great things to change the world. If I had one superpower, I would want this superpower to remind people what they're capable of.
What is love, according to you?
This is obviously a very complicated question, and I'm not sure I know how to answer. Love is a lot of things. Love is passion. Yeah? Love is the willingness to sacrifice in order to get something or to give someone something. To some extent, it's light in a world of darkness. and I think this is the reason that people should do whatever they do, either because they love what they do, or they love the people they do it for, or they love the world, or they love themselves. I think it's a strong engine, and everybody should use it. It is very complicated to try and explain what is love.
Well, thank you for trying.
Sure, thank you for asking.
You're welcome.